The world we wake up to feels ordinary. This is just life, we tell ourselves, how it has always been. But that's an illusion. Never before has humanity lived in a world so carefully shaped, so tailored to our needs. Food, shelter, safety, things our ancestors fought desperately for, are, for many of us, a given. We are one of the rarest generations in history able to live without thinking constantly about survival. Because for more than 99.99% of human existence, life looked nothing like this. Our story stretches back millions of years. 6 million years ago, a small group of primates took a different path, splitting away from the ancestors of today's apes. From that branch, after countless generations of struggle, something new emerged. About 2.8 million years ago, the first members of the genus Homo appeared, the first humans. But they were not alone. We tend to imagine ourselves as the only humans to ever walk the earth. That is far from the truth. When Homo sapiens, our species, came into existence around 200,000 years ago, we were not the sole heirs of evolution. At least 6 other human species roamed the planet alongside us. They were our cousins, beings of flesh and blood, with hands that crafted tools, with minds capable of problem-solving, with eyes that looked back at us. It must have been terrifying, almost like sharing the earth with aliens. Some of them thrived. Take Homo erectus, for instance. They walked the earth for nearly 2 million years, 10 times longer than we, modern humans, have existed so far. And yet, one by one, they vanished, leaving us alone as the last human species. The last of the other humans disappeared around 10,000 years ago. Neanderthals, Denisovans, and others, gone. Why? We don't really know. Maybe they lost the competition for food. Maybe it was disease. Or maybe our ancestors pushed them aside, one conflict at a time. Whatever the reason, today, only we remain. But to understand why, we need to go back, way back. About 2.8 million years ago, the first humans picked up simple stone tools. For nearly 2 million years, progress was slow, until fire changed everything. Fire meant cooked food. Cooked food meant more energy. More energy meant bigger brains. It also gave warmth, light, protection from predators, and even a way to hunt by setting landscapes aflame. Fast forward to 300,000 years ago. The Earth was home to many kinds of humans. They lived in small groups, hunted, gathered, planned ahead. They buried their dead. They had culture, and most importantly, they spoke. Not like we do now, but in early proto-languages that allowed them to share ideas and warnings. Now imagine this. If we had a time machine, how far back could we go? Steal a baby from the past, raise it today, and no one would ever know it wasn't fully modern. Scientists debate this. Anatomically modern humans first appeared 200,000 years ago, but most agree only after about 70,000 years ago would we find behaviorally modern humans, the kind who could think and speak like us. And then, something extraordinary happened. 50,000 years ago, a spark ignited. Innovation exploded. Tools became sharper, weapons more sophisticated, art began to flourish. But most of all, language advanced. For the first time, humans could communicate in detail, down to the last nuance. They could plan, share, and dream together. This changed everything, because cooperation became our superpower, not strength, not speed, not claws or fangs, but the ability to think together, speak together, and build together. That is what set Homo sapiens apart. And that is why, in the end, only we remain. It wasn't our muscles that made us special, not sharper senses, not stronger bodies. In fact, compared to most animals, we're weak, fragile, slow. So why did we take over the world? Because humans discovered something no other creature had. The ability to cooperate flexibly in large numbers. Not like bees trapped in rigid hives, not like wolves bound to small packs. We could adapt our cooperation, change it, expand it, pass it on. And as our brains grew, life itself unlocked something new. For the first time in Earth's history, a species could do three things. 1. Spread knowledge quickly. 2. Preserve it across generations. And 3. Build on it, discovering more with each step. Until then, most knowledge was locked away in DNA, a slow, inefficient process of evolution. But humans had a shortcut: culture. Still, for tens of thousands of years, daily life barely changed. Our ancestors were hunters and gatherers, one species among many surviving in a dangerous world. It's tempting to look back and call them primitive, but that would be a mistake. They were survival specialists. They carried vast mental maps of their lands. They could identify plants, track animals, read the stars. Their bodies were honed by daily effort, fit, resilient, enduring. They crafted complex tools that demanded years of skill and precision. And they lived rich social lives within their tribes. Their brains, often larger than ours today. As individuals, they may have been superior, but as groups, we hold the advantage. Because our knowledge stacks billions of minds across thousands of years. Then came the turning point. About 12,000 years ago, humans discovered agriculture. For the first time, food could be produced reliably, stored, guarded, shared, and everything changed. Villages formed. Villages became towns. Towns grew into cities. Cities into kingdoms. Kingdoms into empires. Specialization was born. One person farmed, another crafted tools. Someone else invented or governed or fought to protect the harvest. Human connection multiplied. Trade expanded. Ideas traveled farther than ever before. Progress accelerated. And then, just 500 years ago, humanity crossed another threshold. The scientific revolution. Mathematics, astronomy, physics, biology, chemistry, suddenly the universe itself began to reveal its secrets. Not long after came the Industrial Revolution. Engines, machines, mass production, the foundation of the modern world. All of this not because we were stronger or faster, but because we learned to think together, to cooperate, to build on what came before. That, more than anything else, is why we remain. As human societies grew more efficient, something remarkable happened. Not everyone needed to fight for survival every single day. Some could spend their lives pushing humanity forward. And so, revolutions began to stack, one upon another. The computer, the internet, billions of people connected in a single web. It all happened so fast. almost too fast to comprehend. Think of it this way. It has been 125,000 generations since the first humans emerged. 7,500 generations since modern humans took their first breath. Only 500 generations since we built the first civilizations. 20 generations since we discovered science. And the internet, the tool that shapes your daily life, was born just one generation ago. Today, we live in the most prosperous age humanity has ever known. We've changed the atmosphere of Earth. We've carved mountains, dammed rivers, and altered which animals live and which disappear. We light up the night with artificial stars. We've walked on the moon. We've placed robots on other planets. And we've built machines that peer back to the beginning of the universe itself. Knowledge has exploded so rapidly that an ordinary teenager today knows more about the universe than the greatest scholars of the past. Yet, our rule is fragile. Beneath the skyscrapers and satellites, we are still the same species that wandered the African plains 70,000 years ago. The lives we live now, the comfort, the technology, the certainty, have existed for less than a heartbeat in human history, less than 0.001%. And the future? Uncertain. We are building a tower of progress, but no one knows if it stands on solid ground or on quicksand. So the next time you feel frustrated, when the train is late, when your meal is cold, when someone cuts ahead in line, remember this. You live in a world built from miracles stacked on miracles. A fragile, improbable world that your ancestors could never have imagined. And that alone is worth pausing for.